Hi everybody, and welcome back to Gullo's Garden Center. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about planting a tree. Seems like almost everybody that's been in here has had a lot of breakage, trees being snapped right off. So there's a lot of tree plantings going on. So I thought I'd just give you some tips on the proper way to plant. The two biggest mistakes folks make when they take these trees home and plant them themselves is, the first thing is they tend to plant things too deep in the ground. And they also have a tendency to try to get the wire basket and the burlap away from the root ball before they plant. If you do that, you'll end up possibly with a bare root tree that has minimal chances to survive. So we always leave it intact. Dig your hole extra big around so you got room to work on the root ball after it's in there. When you put it in the hole, it only needs to go in up to about where my hand is. You leave about an inch or so of the top of the root ball above the edge of the hole. No dirt built up around the trunk of the tree at all. After it's in the hole, complete like it is, with the wire and everything just like this, you can still turn the tree and get the proper face forward so it looks best. After it's positioned exactly the way you want it, then you can cut these ropes, pull them away. You can just throw the ropes right in the hole. They'll just disintegrate over time. Then you can either fold these flaps down, or if you have something that'll cut this wire, you can cut it back to this first horizontal band and just lift the top half of the basket out of the hole. Either way, the main thing is you just don't want the wire to show after you have finished planting. After you've done that, open up the burlap. They're usually just nailed shut. Sometimes they're staples. It'll just pull apart from the top real easily. And just tuck the burlap down in around the sides of the hole as far as you can to expose the top of the root ball. Now you're going to have obviously a pile of dirt from your hole. The best thing to do is mix some peat moss with the dirt that came out of the hole and use that to backfill. Unless it's really, really crummy dirt, most things want to grow in the soil they're going to be in. So the best thing to do is use the dirt that came out of the hole with a little peat moss stirred into it. Then you use that to backfill, all the while again being very careful that you don't build up any soil around the trunk of your tree. You can mulch over the surface to make up the difference in height so you don't notice that it's above grade. But even when you mulch, it's a good idea to keep the mulch a little bit away from the trunk of the tree so it doesn't keep the bark real wet. Then after that, the most important thing is watering. A tree with a root ball this size is going to demand quite a bit of water. But it's not so much the frequency of water as the amount when you do water it. A tree like this, if the weather stays about the way it is, you're going to want to water it about twice a week. But when you water it, soak the heck out of it. It takes a lot of water to get a root ball this large, moist all the way down to the bottom of the root ball. So best thing, put your hose on a kind of a slow trickle, set it on the top of the root ball, and just walk away for 40 minutes or an hour and let it really soak in there. If you do that twice a week, your tree should be fine. If we get on in towards more summery weather and it gets real hot and dry, you could step that up to 3 times a week. But almost everything wants to get a real good drink and then have a chance to dry out a little bit before it gets watered again. So anytime you plant a little high. This goes for container plants too. The only difference is when you get the tree out of the container, the root ball may be twisted around on itself. It may be what we call pot bound or root bound. You may need to tease those roots out a little bit so they will spread out into the soil a little bit better. But planting depth and watering is the same whether it's balled in burlap or in a container. Please stop in. We've got lots of trees here. We'd love to help you find your replacements or new ones to fill spots in your yard. We'll always be here to help you with Gullos. Thank you for watching.